All right, everyone, we are back with PAX Unplugged 2019 coverage, and I'm here with T at the HABA Games booth. How is the convention going so far?
Good. It's day one. I almost said day zero, but it's day one. It feels like day negative 157, but it's good. We're halfway through the day. We've already had to get into our backstock, which is a good, bad problem to have because our backstock is hard to get into. But yeah, going really, really well.
Well, I know that you guys have a lot of really cool games at the booth, but the big features that I've seen so far are, one, Valley of the Vikings. Speaking of world-renowned games at this point, that's got to be a big boost to sales.
Oh yeah, we finally got it. It's in. So our 2019 Kinderspiel winner, Valley of the Vikings, is now available in the U.S., and this is the first show that we've had it at, so of course, it's the one that everybody wants to play. So yeah, it's been doing really well.
And that game rules. But we also have Miyabi. So tell me about Miyabi, because this is a very pretty game.
It is. Actually, Miyabi means elegance in Japanese, and the game looks it. I'm actually looking down. You can't see it, but there's a game right here, and it's Miyabi. So Miyabi is designed by Michael Kiesling. It's for 8 and up, 2 to 4 players, and it's a tile placement and drafting game with a 3D element. You're building Japanese gardens, and so as you draft tiles, there's some restrictions on where you can put these tiles with different garden elements into your personal garden area. But as you play the game, you're going to build your garden up. So you're going to layer tiles, and as you do that, you actually will score multiplier points. So you'll score based on the level that you put the tile on. So if you put a tile on the second level, you're going to get ×2 whatever that tile is worth. So yes, it's a lot more thinky than people realize. Hate drafting is a thing you can do. It's Michael Kiesling, right? It's standard. It's Michael Kiesling. You play this and you go, yes, this is Michael Kiesling. And the game also includes 5 variants or expansions that you can add on or mix and match to make the game more strategic for you and the group that you're playing with. So you can play for an older, more strategic crowd, or you can play for a younger one with some kiddos.
Speaking of that, I noticed that the branding on the game is a little bit different. It's this game night approved branding, which I've seen on a couple other HABA games like Honga. So tell me about the difference in branding that HABA is doing between different levels of games, or maybe you're focusing on different audiences. What makes the cut on the classic yellow box, and what makes the cut on this new game night approved labeling?
Right. So our classic line is the yellow box. So that's the one that we're most well known for. And those games can be anywhere for 2 and up, or 2-year-olds, all the way up to 6 and up. So we always say on the boxes it's $2 to $99, all the way up to $6 to $99 for the yellow boxes. If we have a game that's for 7 and up, that's where we start doing our game night approved. So that's the idea of 7, their bedtime's a little later, they can stay up a little later, participate in a normal game night. So we wanted games that work for the whole family, or the older kids and the adults as well. So these games are more strategic, they have more critical decisions and thinking experiences in some way, shape, or form. We also have some that are just fun and silly, and they're still 7 and up, and we put them in the game night approved line. But that's kind of the idea, is they're the more traditional hobby games, if you would, where they're more strategic based. We have a lot of our yellow box games are more dexterity based, which dexterity and memory games, kids can compete with adults head and head with those skill levels. And so with these games, these are for an older kid audience because their brains are more developed. They have more of the background information that they need, things like that. So that's why we do a little bit of a different branding, because we don't want somebody who loves our brand for their family and their kids to buy one of a Miyabi thinking they can play it with a 4-year-old. That's not going to go well. So
at least not with my 4-year-old.
Yeah. So that's why we do that partially is, one, the families that know us for the yellow box, and they know literally any yellow box I buy is going to work for my 5-year-old and me. We wanted to make sure there was a more visual difference. And then for the hardcore gamer crowd that has the 6-year-old that's my 6-year-old's been playing Newton, and we got the new Alex P. Pfister game, and my 6-year-old's been beating me on that. That's okay, those are the game night approved games. You can just go to that level, right?
Hey, if you think of HABA only as games for parents and their kids, I got to tell you, we have torn up a lot of Honga during our office breaks at the local coffee shop, and we've been enjoying the heck out of that. So I am so thrilled to see HABA really diversifying its offerings here, and these are some really exciting games. You also have some stuff coming up on the horizon for 2020?
Yeah, so we have 2 games coming early 2020. We have an expansion for Dragon's Breath The Hatching. So Dragon's Breath was our 2018 Kinderspiel des Jahres winner. We now have a standalone expansion, so you can play it on its own, or you can mix it into that game. It's called Dragon's Breath The Hatching. Spoilers, there's an egg. I like spoilers, so I've got Doctor Who on the mind. It's because of my PAX, and there's so much Doctor Who swag everywhere. Anyway, so there's that one that's going to come early 2020, so like January, February release. And then we have another Game Night approved game, which is called Cloaked Cats. And so this one is a masquerade ball, and every player has 3 like hidden features about themselves, and everybody is trying to deduce what everybody else's hidden features are. So it's a logical deduction game that has nothing to do with murder. Instead, it's about cats.
I love cats. And also, what's your favorite doctor?
David Tennant.
Oh, come on.
I'm sorry.
I mean, David Tennant has that borderline unhinged persona going on really well.
Yeah, it's just a giant child. Matt would love HABA games, actually.
He would.
The 11th Doctor would be running this booth. Look, 11th Doctor, if you're out there, any show you want, you can just run the booth.
Doctor Who showrunners, if you need a new companion, T is auditioning right now.
No, I don't want to do that much cardio. I'm good. Thank you. I'm good.
All right, T. Well, thank you so much. I love everything that HABA is doing right now, and I'm so glad that you came onto the show. And thank you, everyone, for watching the Cardboard Herald PAX 2019 coverage.
Thank you.
If you enjoyed this video, we have all kinds of other reviews, interviews, and recommendations via writing, podcasts, and video here on our channel and website cardboardherald.com. Our content is audience supported, so if you want to show your support, please visit our Patreon. Thank you so much for watching. This has been the Cardboard Herald.